In the richest country on the earth, millions are living paycheck to paycheck. Many without a paycheck at all. Nowhere to live, nowhere to go work, or anything. I'm talking about nothing. And you have millions of Americans that's in that situation. But my question is why? Why does the system keep so many Americans broke? Let's talk about it. Poverty in America isn't just about bad luck or personal choices. It's about more than that. It's about a system designed to keep wealth at the top and the struggling people at the bottom, which is the rich become richer and the middle class, which is no middle class anymore, which is the poor, keep them poor. That's the whole strategy in this system. And it's running. Like it's been out there for years. But it's like the system has become more aggressive from an economical standpoint. Right now, 38 million Americans live in poverty. Like right now. Especially you go to a major city and you go to the downtown area. You see tons of homeless people everywhere. You see people sleeping on the sidewalk. You see people sleeping underneath the bypass on the interstate, sleeping in tents, sleeping on benches, sleeping on sidewalks in concrete heat, in this summer heat, which is 97, 98 to 100 degree temperatures in these major cities, especially in the South and also in the Midwest, East Coast. But in recent years, it has gotten worse in the South. There was a time it wasn't that bad in the South, but it has gotten a whole lot worse. You understand? And it's something people need to pay attention to. It's something that needs to be talked about and discussed. Because this is serious stuff right here. 38 million Americans live in poverty, man. That's about 11.5% of the population. And that's a serious number. And it gets worse. The federal minimum wage has been stuck at $7.25 an hour since 2009. But that's not accurate. That's just a statistic. Because the federal minimum wage is higher than that now. And matter of fact, if I can recall, I think it's $12, $13 an hour. Federal minimum wage is something like that. If not, at the most, it could be 15, if I'm not mistaken. But on the other hand, even at that rate, that amount of money per hour will not be enough money to sustain your daily life, your living situation, rent, mortgage, car note, cell phone bill, which they ain't shit, light bill, water bill, student debts and loans and so forth. And also the expenses to take care of your kids. All of that alone isn't enough money to take care of your people or yourself. And that's why people are like giving up and losing their houses, cars, losing custody of their kids and so forth because of this economical crisis. And from that point, most of people, they're either move back in with their parents or a family member, or they'll just give up and just go crazy and become homeless, get on drugs and live in poverty. And those are the elements that this situation causes. But it gets worse. In fact, a 2023 report from the National Low Income Housing Coalition says a worker would need to earn at least $28.58 per hour to afford a modest 2-bedroom rental or 2-bedroom apartment, better yet, in most parts of the country. And that's real because, like I said in previous videos, if you go to different states where the cost of living is more expensive, like the West Coast, Nevada, California, Arizona, Your rent may be $4,000-$5,000 per month for a 1-bedroom apartment or a 2-bedroom apartment or a condo, better yet. But if you get a condo on the West Coast, I know you're paying probably 10 bands a month, 10 stacks a month. And that's what I'm talking about. And most jobs in West Coast and the South, they're not even paying you enough money to sustain your living situation, your rent, and your bills, like water bill, light bill, and etc. So by me saying that, it's a major problem, man. And people can't afford that, so people wind up quitting their jobs, or they'll go look for another job, can't find another job, and they get behind on their rent. And at some point they get evicted and become stressed out, mentally damaged, or mentally sick. So they'll end up losing their job, and next thing you know, they become homeless, they live in poverty, they on drugs, and they take desperate measures. These are the elements that happens all because of the system. The system causes these situations to occur, But let's talk about wealth inequality. There's a wealth gap. The top 1% of Americans now own more wealth than the entire middle class combined. According to the Federal Reserve, as of 2023, the top 1% holds nearly 31% of the nation's wealth. And that's real. Yeah. But also I want to talk about loans like credit cards, debt, and student loans. Add on crushing debt. Credit cards, payday loans, student loans. The average American household consumes over $104,800 in debt. That's a lot of money, especially when you have to be worried about the interest rate. The interest rate will double that, triple that after so long of a period of time. But the system keeps encouraging people to borrow more money, while the wealth profit off of your interest payments. So basically the credit card companies, the banks, the car lots, they profit off your interest rates, because you're not able to pay the whole complete bill. Like, say a house payment, you purchase a house and you make payments on a house, and that house was like $800,000, right, in total. And you sign that contract $800,000 for a period of 30 years. Don't you know, if you don't have that whole $800,000 on the spot, it's going to take you 30, 40 years to pay that off, depending on the type of job you are working and the wages. If you're working a mediocre job that's paying a little bit above minimum wage, it will take you your whole life to pay off that house. Better yet, to pay off that house loan. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about. And people are put and stuck in a position where they have to work their whole life just to own something, on top of property tax and more. So basically you are being extorted as a citizen. And that's the system, the way I just explained it. The system is designed to hold you down, to keep you back. And most people die without seeing their dreams or achieving their goals or dreams, because of the system, the way the system has our lives set up to be. And let's talk about closed factories, robotic manufacturing, and outsourcing, right? Good paying jobs, many were shipped overseas, or replaced by automation, which is AI technology or some kind of mechanic technology that can physically do the job instead of a human being. So in so many words, you are losing an opportunity to make money, to have a very successful career, because they replace you with a machine Better yet, AI. AI is taking over on these jobs. But in another 10 years or so, a lot of jobs that we are working that we make good money on will be replaced by a robot. And some jobs have already been replaced by the machine or a robot, meaning that people have less opportunities to get a good paying job, which places people in a position where they have to work a very physical demanding job that's underpaying, meaning they will struggle. Or better yet, live in a car, or live at the park, or have to sleep at a hotel just to get by, just to have somewhere to live, because they don't make enough money to get a place to stay. In so many words, that's what I'm really speaking on. But working class Americans with service jobs that barely pay the bills, they barely getting by, because like I said, they're not making the money they need. You know what I mean? Some of these companies just don't pay. Some of these companies just don't pay enough money for people to maintain their living situation. But last, I want to talk about hospitals, insurance, paperwork, right? As far as healthcare goes, it's the #1 cause of bankruptcy in America. Over 40% of Americans are in medical debt, according to a 2022 health survey provided. So I'm going to say this. Why does the system keep you broke? Because it's profitable on their end. Like, they make more money. The more you are sick, the more you need medicine, the more money they make. That's why if you pay attention, certain medications, certain pills, certain type of liquid medications that's prescribed by the doctor, it's very expensive. You have to pay more money. And that's a whole scheme. That's a whole system. So it's like the doctors, the pharmacies, and these dentists and other type of doctors, even sexual health doctors and so forth, they all on the same team. It's like they click up together. They talk about how they want to do this, and they actually set the prices and execute to keep us down. But you have some medications that's not even good for you, and they say this good, but you end up getting it, and it's wind up taking your life, or it might have took a life of a mom, a father, a family member, and they had to pay out a whole ton of money, and the medication still didn't do the job. And then on top of that, the family is in debt because of that, or a child of the parent or the elder that passed away because they took the medicine that didn't do no good, that couldn't help them. They have to pay the hospital bill or something like that. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's a whole system to keep us down. The more we go to the doctor, the more we sick, the more money they make. That's why it's not safe to drink certain drinks. That's why it's not safe to eat certain foods, because certain foods will make you sick. Certain type of drinks will make you sick. Your lifestyle will make you sick. But at the same time, they are promoting you to get these products, eat like this, drink like this. They promote you to go to the doctor. They say you need certain medications to heal, but in reality, they have old school remedies out there on a down low that will naturally heal you without going to the doctor. Understand me? But I'm gonna say this: why does the system keep you broke? Believe it or not, it's like corporations lobby for politicians to keep wages low and healthcare privatized. Billionaires use healthcare loopholes to avoid any type of form of having to pay taxes. I'm gonna say it like this. But banks even profit when you are in debt, right? And pharmacies, grocery stores, everything that's out here that you see when you driving up and down the road, They are profiting, making profits off of you. Yeah. Even schools, high schools, colleges, they are making a profit off of us. If you have kids that's in college, it's like you have to pay for an education. You have to pay to get a degree. You even have to pay schools for food now. Certain schools, some schools, private schools, you have to pay your way. You have to pay for your child to be in that school. Then you also have to pay for your child meals. You know what I mean? Even preschools, kindergarten, you name it. Almost every aspect of life, you have to pay your way. And they profit off of that. Like I said, they all on the same team. The teachers, the principals, the superintendents, the city councilmen, the mayors, the police officers, the doctors, the lawyers, the hospitals, the pharmacies, you name it. Even the library, even the car lots, and people that sell houses, property owners, farmers. They all make a profit off of us. That's why they make us pay taxes. But my whole motto is, why should we pay taxes for something we already paid for and own? But even when you own something here, you have to pay taxes. That's why I say it's a system to keep us down. But anyway, if you like this video, smash the like and subscribe button. I'm going to end this video and I'm out. Peace.